Hello everyone, good morning. This is Dr. Prashant, former Professor and Dean Infrastructure, Government College of Engineering, Nagpur. So I'm the anchor for today's session, and it is happy morning to you all in India particularly. So I welcome you all for this 10th International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education. So today we have seen the SWOT analysis of the students, that is need for value-driven education. Then yesterday, the second day, we have discussed in this higher education panel the vision, and today we'll be discussing the implementation part of it. So to start with, I will introduce our UHV presenter. UHV presenter is Dr. Abha Mishra. Abha Didi.
Namaste भैया, नमस्ते सभी को.
Yeah, welcome Abha Didi. So Abha Didi is PhD in English literature, worked with various technical colleges in Greater Noida. Her area of specialization is Indian philosophy, and presently she is working with this Indian English literature and UHV volunteer since 2018. So Namaste Abha Didi, welcome.
Everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Then our today's session moderator is Dr. N. Sunil Kumar. So he is professor and head of the Department of Civil Engineering, Cochin University, College of Engineering, Kuttanad. So that is CUCK. He is coordinator and member of UHV cell, and he is PhD gold medal. So congratulations, Sunilji, in computational mechanics, and volunteer for Universal Human Values since June 2020. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Prashant. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome, Sunilji. Then I welcome our external panelist. Then we'll come to the internal one. So, Dr. Anuradha Parasarji, Anuradha ji, can I see? Yeah. Welcome, Anuradha ji. Yeah, okay. So, she is Dean School of Liberal Education, Galgotias University, India, having experience of 29 years, advisor to universities, served as a dean and director in multiple universities. So she is having the additional certificate course in Russian and spoken English and Urdu also. Ji Didi. And she is having extensive research profile. Welcome, Anuradha ji.
Thank you.
Ji. Then I'll introduce our eminent panelist, the senior UHV volunteer in India, particularly Umesh ji. Umesh ji, welcome. So, Umesh ji is member of National Coordination Committee for Induction in AICT, All India Council for Technical Education. Umesh ji, can you on your this video? Ji, okay. So, Umesh ji is former faculty in Gedu College of Business Studies, Royal University of Bhutan. He is having the degrees of Masters in Tourism Administration and volunteering the Universal Human Values from 2012. So, welcome, Umesh ji. Then I can see another, Sunil ji, Siri has not joined, no? Siri, Didi.
Siri has joined. Yeah. Manish Kumar ji is there.
Yeah.
Dr. Manish Kumar, director.
Yeah. So another panelist is Manish Kumar ji. He is director, Ellen Mishra, College of Business Management, Muzaffarpur, Bihar in India. So welcome Manish Kumar ji. Welcome.
Namaste Didi. Namaste Bhaiya.
Ji. Then anybody else? I cannot see on the screen. Manish ji
He is there.
Siri.
Panelist.
Yeah. So Siri is, yes, welcome Siri. She was with me in one panel.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, Siri. So, Siri is a student of third year, BTech Computer Science and Engineering, Madanapalle Institute of Technology and Science, deemed to be University Madanapalle, and she is studying the Universal Human Values from September 2023. So, thank you. Welcome, Siri. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining.
Vilas Bhaiya is there.
Vilas Bhaiya is there?
Yeah.
Ji Vilas Bhaiya, namaste. So Vilas Bhaiya will introduce himself. Yeah. Vilas Bhaiya, please.
So very good morning to all the panelists and moderator as well and anchor as well. I am Dr. Vilas Varutkar. I am faculty in Mechanical Engineering Department at MANIT Bhopal. That is Maulana Azad National Institute of Technology. And I have gone through this course of Universal Human Values in 2017. And since then, I'm exploring myself and trying to implement this values in our institute as well and to the students as well. We have started a program on UHV as well as a elective course in our curriculum. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Vilas. So with this brief introduction, now I request Abha Didi to present UHV point of view for this today's session. Ji Abha ji.
Thank you, Bhaiya.
Yeah.
Namaste, everyone. So
Namaste.
here we are there for 10th International Conference of Human Values.
We make it on full screen, no?
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, so we are here for 10th International Conference on Human Values in Higher Education, and we are approaching towards the completion of the conference. And we are happy to see that we had enriching this discussion all through these 2 days. And now today we are there for plans and programs for effective implementation of value-driven higher education. On day first, we analyzed the strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats of the youth today in the context of modern challenges and the potential of value-driven education. There we saw that there is a need for value-driven education, which will harness the strengths and opportunities of today's youth, address their weaknesses, and equip them to effectively confront emerging threats. Yesterday, we discussed the vision of value-driven education in terms of the common graduate attributes in the youth, such as holistic vision of life, socially responsible behavior, among others, through value inputs which are universal, rational, verifiable, and leading to harmony. Today, we are going to discuss the implementation plans and programs. There in morning also we had a keynote lecture in which we had an overall view of this implementation program. But how to proceed with there in higher education, we can take it in 3 steps, including UHV in the present curriculum, which will start from exploring and understanding harmony through value education. Then the next step is integrating human values across all subjects, value-based education. And the last stage, which is the core of value education, I think, value-based living, living in harmony. Value-based living, I think this is the crucial missing link which are having today there in education. So here is the point where we want to reach through value education, then value-based education to value-based living. First step, including UHV in the present curriculum. The key initiatives include Student Induction Program, SIP. I'm sure we all are knowing about this. Most of the Indian universities and colleges have opted for this. And this is designed for first-year students in both bachelor's and master's program. Mandatory courses on UHV are integrated into various years of the curriculum. Then we have elective courses also on universal human values offered for deeper exploration of value education. We have also minor degree in UHV available for students seeking a focused study in this area. Next step is to build faculty and leadership capacity in value-driven education. It starts from faculty induction program for onboarding new faculty members, then faculty development program to train faculty in delivering various UHV courses. We have also management development program for the value orientation of department heads and institutional leaders. And the most important thing, leadership development programs, which aims for cultivating leaders who champion value-driven education. So this is the first step we are taking for the implementation. The second step is integrating UHV across all subjects. Like we always talk about that, we talk about value, but how to implement and how to integrate it with the real life or the subjects or the skill education which we are taking. So this is very important step to be proposed. Propose initiatives for promoting value-driven education, integration of value components across disciplines. It introduces structured value-based inputs within all academic subjects to serve as the foundational framework for skill-oriented education and holistic student development. Implementation of socially and environmentally relevant projects. Through this, we encourage students and faculty to engage in projects addressing social, ethical, and environmental challenges across diverse domains such as engineering, management, medicine, commerce, arts, and humanities, and also journalism. Next step is promotion of interdisciplinary research on value-based education. So when we start from value education, we always think that how we can take it to the other part of life. So here we have facilitation and support for collaborative research, taking initiatives to explore multiple dimensions of value-based education, including sustainability and environmental stewardship, holistic technologies and ethical production systems, responsible management models and leadership practices, and the very important thing which today students are aspiring for, design thinking, human psychology, sociology, economics, and public administration. And the last one is establishment of dedicated academic structures. So it seems last, but I think this is the most important thing where we need to initiate new departments, academic programs, and courses specifically focused on holistic and value-driven education, integrating ethical perspectives with professional competencies. And the most important thing, that is value-based living. This is what we are missing today. And in the light of value education, we are definitely to experience this and live a fulfilling life. It shows us direction for expanding the reach of value-driven education, institutional transformation. Under institutional transformation, we try to go to the process of transforming the institution into a living model of value-based education, fostering a culture of relationship, harmony, and coexistence within the campus community. And we have been doing in many institutions and practicing this since years. Community and social outreach. Through this program, we extend the reach of value-based learning beyond institutional boundaries by designing and delivering programs for diverse groups such as NGOs, correctional facilities, working professionals, and government employees, etc. Then, third and important step is development of national nodal centers, which Rajul sir was mentioning there in the keynote lecture, that we have established various nodal centers across the country to serve as hubs for promoting, coordinating, and disseminating value-based education and related initiatives. Then next is administrative engagement, integrate value inputs into institutional governance and administrations, ensuring that policies, decision-making, and leadership practices reflect ethical and human-centric. And last one is nationwide volunteer network. Develop a national network of trained volunteers dedicated to promoting social upliftment and community well-being through pro bono initiatives and grounded in value education. And this is the most beautiful part of this value education, that the participants and the learner are promoting themselves for going under the process of being the volunteer with selfless activities based on their natural acceptance. Now, if I sum up all these transformation framework, these are there, including UHV in the curriculum. Second one is integrating UHV across all subjects. And third, value-based living. So I think this is all in one. In one package, we can have all these 3 steps, and certainly we can think of a fulfilling life, which we have been aspiring for. The transformation from value education to value based education and finally to value based living represents a holistic path toward integrating ethics, sustainability, and human values in education, leading to individual well being, social harmony, and global peace. So it's again, I think, going to be a beautiful place to live in if we can integrate all these 3 steps in our life, in our family, and institutions, and especially educational institutions. So thank you. Thank you all. Now I hand over to Prashant Bhaiya. Over to you, Bhaiya.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Abha. Very nicely given the universal human values point of view on this today's discussion, that is implementation of the strategy. Whatever we have discussed in these 2 days will be finalized, and implementation part will be discussed by our moderator, Dr. Sunil ji. So now I hand over session to Dr. Sunil. So yeah, Dr. Sunil ji, welcome as a moderator for this session. Please.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Prashant, and thank you, Dr. Abha Mishra, for that introduction of the panelists as well as the presentation of the USU point of view. So we have discussed regarding the need of value education on day 1, the vision part of value education, the 6 graduate attributes on day 2, and then we also discussed regarding the guidelines of the value education as part of the vision, and we have a lot of discussions in the previous 2 days. Now today, as it was mentioned by many of the panelists in the previous 2 days, as well as during the keynote lectures, the implementation part is also very important. So what is being proposed here are 3 key things. One is value education, the human value courses as such into the curriculum, adding these courses into the curriculum and offering them as part of the syllabus of the universities and the colleges and schools also. In addition, we propose inculcating the value education into the syllabus of other courses, like embedding the value education into the through the various boards of studies, the various academic council bodies, etc., into the curriculum. That is another thing. And the third thing is the practices which are being can be followed in each and every institution, the value-based living part in the institution. So with this background, we are trying to move from the value education to value-based education to value-based living part. So we have an eminent list of panelists over here, as it is introduced by Dr. Prashant. So we have an abundance of delegates also who are present over here. So I welcome everyone once again to the panel discussion. Let's have the discussion now. So I will start this discussion with Sri Umesh Jadavji, because Umesh Jadavji has abundance of experience in understanding the value education as well as offering this value education as programs as resource person in various facets. So Sri Umesh ji has been into this value education for the past, I think, more than 13 years time. So I would like to ask you this question, Umesh ji. In your opinion, what are the implementation steps which are being followed by the universities, and what are the proposals you put forth regarding the implementation part?
Thank you for that question, Dr. Sunil Kumar ji, and namaste all the panelists. the steps need to be followed by universities are quite simple because UGC and AICTE both have given the mandate to all the universities across our country to incorporate universal human values. So the steps begin with the board of studies. So the board of studies of a respective university can discuss the need and the importance of value education, and based upon that, they can take a decision of incorporating it into their curriculum. In fact, from 160 credit point, which was given by AICTE to all the different universities, that has been raised to 163. And the letter issued by the member secretary, AICTE, has clearly stated this additional 3 credit points is only for the universal human values. So the credit point is there, the credit course is also there, the material is also there. What is required is a strong commitment of university from their side. Understanding the role of university is not only creating a skillful employees, but valuable citizens who can serve for the country and for the whole world. So the steps begins from there. Then the second step, which is important, is we have course material, PowerPoint presentations, audio video lectures, but the preparation of the faculties. So the second steps can involve organizing faculty development program within the campus and also promoting faculties to go in the different campuses, attending faculty development program regularly, and also university can encourage the faculty members who have gone through the faculty development program to participate into follow programs, which happens on weekly basis in all 8 regions of India. And for those who want to strengthen their process of exploration within, there are morning sessions. So these morning sessions are happening. So this is the third step. The fourth step, I would say, this lie on every faculty members. See, any core subject what we are teaching, we do a lot of preparation of that core subject. We studied the subjects for minimum 5 to 7 years, and after that, we go to the library, we refer the material, we participate into the conferences, we write the research papers and articles on that particular subjects. The preparation for the universal human values from the faculty end shall be the same. In fact, I would say a little more than that, because here we are, talking and thinking about exploring and understanding the clarity about the whole existence. So the role of faculty is also important in implementation process. That how much time a faculty member is spending on understanding the concepts of universal human values and following the guidelines while teaching. Number 2, following the process while teaching. And number 3, ensuring these feelings of relationship. So implementation part, I would say these things that the letters and mandates have already been issued by AICTE and this UGC. Now it is on the university to take up. The good point is more than 4,000 universities and colleges of India have already incorporated universal human values. So those colleges who have incorporated, they can think about how to make it more effective for the transformation.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a good starting point, I would say, Sri Umesh Jadavji. Whatever we have been doing as part of the implementation and the institutions that they have been taking up this into their curriculum as well as their values practices has been put forth by Umesh Jadavji very nicely. The role of educators is also very important. That's what he mentioned. And in addition to that, he also mentioned regarding, in addition to the core subjects, the preparation for UHV should be much more. This part is very, very relevant, I think. So now I will move on to the next panelist, Dr. Anuradha Parashar. Yeah, I would like to put forward the same question to you. So how can the institutions integrate holistic value vision into the curricula? Implementation part.
Thank you so much. I think the basic crux has already been pointed out, wherein course has already been finalized. But what I'm saying that it's okay that 3 credit course we already, at least this stage we have reached, that we have a 3 credit course, and it is already there's a formal instructions as well to implement that course. But what is equally needed is not just one course where student just register for a course and then there's no discussion, because this ethics is a lifelong learning process. So not just one course, but it need to be integrated in each and every course. Maybe in each course, whatever course a student is studying, let's say in a 2 years program or 4 years program, 2 years program, they are studying 24 courses. I'm just giving an example. So in each course, there should be one particular topic wherein people should be talking about that roles and responsibilities. For example, let's take some course which is in engineering, graphic designing. So now here your responsibility as a graphic designer, your roles and responsibility, your duties, because this is all about value-based learning. So it's not just, I think this is the next step which need to take up when it comes to implementation, is also now provisioning in each and every course and relating that course with the values and how that should create or contribute, rather than right now our education system is just based on competition. So from that competition now moving to the contribution as a responsible citizen of the society. So I think in nutshell, I just want to share that. But before we go into that, what exactly should be the content? Some course is there, which is already there with us. So let me just talk a brief about me before I talk about my point. So I'm former dean and director of Galgotias University, Dr. Vishwanath Karad, MIT World Peace University, NIT. In NIT, we implemented almost in 2010 a course on professional ethics and values when nobody was talking about value education system. So this journey, in my case, started that it's longing from that side. So it's been 29 years of university academic and administration experience, but now I'm working as an advisor, higher education, arbitrator, and mediator for civil matters. First of all, thanks for inviting me to this highly relevant and important conference. Now, coming to the topic, I think we need to first think about the values. What do we mean by value or value-based education? And my perspective in simple terms, it means follow right decision in life. Now question is how to follow the right decision in life. This is what should be the curriculum which we should be talking in whatever courses. What I'm saying now, it should not be just limited to one course, but each course to be related with one topic, maybe contemporary issues, the way we have implemented, also the value based, the roles and responsibility relating to this course. So what is the how to follow the right decision in life? Answer is do your duty. So what is my duty? These are the questions which students should be answering as part of the course. Duty is how you are supposed to behave in the given role, whether you are a son, whether you are a daughter, whether you are an employee, whether you are a boss or father. So do your duty. Now question is, how do I know what is my duty in that role? Now what is that duty? Duty is your dharma. As a son, as a daughter, as a student, as a faculty, it's your duty. For example, as a son, it's your duty to take care of your parents in old age. Who is providing that? Already prescribed by the society. So there's already a role, there's a key responsibility area related to that job or the role, which is already prescribed by the society for each role in this world. So is that happening? As a student, we say you should be keen to learn all time, follow sattvic ahar, follow celibacy, respect teacher. Is that happening? Answer is big no. Similarly, we can take any office, organization, employees, boss, staff, teacher, administrator, and all stakeholder. Somewhere everyone is going contra to what they should be doing as part of their duty. I mean, majority may be doing, but still you find that there's a mismatch. So why is this happening? The course should address that. Because no one is talking about dharma. When people talk about dharma religion, there's a switch off somewhere in the academic organization without understanding what dharma is. Dharma is duty. However, at all places, it's related, the religion is related to some practice. In the application form there's a provision, religion. People will write, I am Muslim, Christian, Jain, Hindu. No, that's not a dharma. Dharma. Oh, sorry. Oh, that's the time budget, I think. Okay. So sorry, I missed it. Okay, so I'll just wind it up. So that's not dharma. Actually, your dharma is as a human being to behave in a human way. And all these practices which we are talking about is not dharma. So your duty, the content is that how to be a human being, how to be a human being, humanism. And this is in nutshell the value-based education which need to be implemented, whichever program higher education is offering. Each course should be related with the roles and responsibility, the dharma. Thank you. Sorry for missing the budget. I could not figure it out. It was a time budget.
That's fine. That's fine. But your points are well taken. They are very, very important. You particularly mentioned regarding the dharma part, regarding the value part, regarding the duty part. Yeah. So whenever we revise or design a syllabus of any course, this part has to be looked into.
Yes.
Right. The roles and responsibilities of a human being into that particular area. So this is very important. And when you offer that particular program, what is the roles and responsibilities of the teacher and the students for the humanity and for the nature at large? So this part can be looked into in every syllabus in the curriculum part. That's a very important point. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll get back to you. Thank you. Very nice. So now let me move on to the next panelist, Dr. Manish Kumar. So, Dr. Manish, I would like to ask you this question. There is a particular campus culture across the country as well as around the world. We know that. So when this AI-oriented kind of campus culture, this is a changing kind of a culture which we can see. Particularly, there is a short attention span by the students. There are a lot of stress issues with the students in the youth. So how can the ethical conduct be practiced across the campus culture nowadays?
Thank you. It's a good question. As all of you may know that new generation students are more tech savvy. They use everything on the mobile phone or laptop. So they don't want to come inside the classroom. The basic difference in the current education and what we had done past. So the culture in the new generation students, they are lagging teacher and students interaction face to face. Lots of problem being faced with us in current situation. So we can take, if the students are very technology, very, I mean, they are very good in technical, tech savvy. So we can use that part in the value education, like a small story making, a small clip, so that we can expose that in value education in a technical based education. So we can make that technical part in with the help of technical tech savvy students. We can use that part as a exposure of the value education in the new outcome. So that is one what we face in nowadays. Students don't want to interact with the teacher face to face, and that's having lots of problem they are facing, like depression and all. So once we can give some value in this technical with the help of technology and sort out all this problem, so it will be good for the students as well as higher education. That's the point. Thank you.
Yeah, nice. That's a very important point. The tech savviness of the students. So this can be channelized into offering value education for their own guidance as well as for the guidance of the others. That's a very, very important point. So in the current campus culture, there is a possibility for inculcating this ethical conduct based on the human values when the teachers are able to understand these values as well as they are practicing these values in the institution. Very nice. Thank you. So, so we have a discussion regarding the how to practice this human values into the curriculum. Now, we have a student panelist among us. So I would like to ask the student panelist, Siri Reddy. Welcome, Siri Reddy, for the first time in the panel discussion. So you have been in the discussion, in the need part, in the vision part, very actively. I could see that. So what do you think regarding the comments of the three panelists which you heard so far regarding the implementation part of the human values, particularly this and ethical conduct being practiced across campus life?
Yeah, I think that education is something not just a book knowledge, but it is like how to live a life, and it's we should learn the life values. It's like education in the sense in the institutes and the colleges, they just give us the book knowledge and the course what you get, you just pass in that and get good grades and you're done and you get a good job. That is not enough. After getting a job, what do we do in the life? Like we have to question that to ourselves, and we should have an answer, I think. So I think education is not only about book knowledge, but also how to live a life we have to learn. And earlier, sir was mentioning about going beyond the traditional methods of teaching to students because we are tech savvy. And I think it is like ethics we learn from empathy. If we know how others would feel or what happens if we do this, then ethics would be considered, and it would be great to progress more in ethics when we have great empathy. And excellence without ethics is incomplete, I would say. Curriculum decides the skills, and campus culture would decide the character of students. And ranking and all this grades would measure the performances, and values would measure the impact. That is what I think, sir. Thank you.
Very, very nicely put, I would say. So the importance of learning for life, that is what you mentioned even in the previous discussion as well as today, yesterday as well as today. Very nice, very important. So when a student says that the education is not just for getting money or getting a job, but it is for life, then this message will go to many, many students across the world, I would say, through this panel discussion. Thank you so much, Siri, for that input. So with this input, I move on to the next panelist. So we have Vilas Varudkar. Vilas Varudkar ji, namaste.
So, namaste, sir.
Yeah. So I would like to ask you this question. What is the role of a faculty member or a mentor in implementing the value education in the institutions?
It's a very important question, I think you have put to me. And certainly, as all panelists have mentioned, that the importance of this program, particularly in maintaining the ethics part. And when, as a faculty, I see that we have a dual responsibility towards the student primarily and to the society as well. And students, as Siri has rightly mentioned, that it has a purpose of life has to be decided, and then only they can approach to the life. And as all teaching aids are being used, and all are going to, but I think faculty should be an inspiring one, and they should be a role model for all the students and for the society as well. And what I see that just not teaching UHV will do, they should inspire the students by their act. And just by, if our teacher is getting angry very often, and he is scolding their counterparts as well, and students as well. So I think they are not really transmitting the values and ethics part truly. Just by teaching a course, it will not be done. So I think on the act part, we have to be very firm and very conscious about it. That what values, what ethics we are really delivering to the society, to the students. And if we really work on it, being conscious, certainly we can maintain a very ethics part as well and a values part as well. So very important part a faculty has to play because he has to act between a bridge between the administration as well as in the students. So not just say obeying the orders from the higher ups, but they have to deliver to the students as well. So being a compassionate, taking a compassionate part, they have to see all the students as his own kids. Then only I think he can or she can really deliver this ethics part and values part. So I think that's it from my side at present. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So the role of an educator has been put forth very nicely by Vilas Varukar. Particularly the inspiration part. The teacher has to be an inspire, has to be an inspiration by actions, by acts. That's what you said. That's a very important point. So the teacher has to learn every moment and be a continuous learner throughout the life, improving his or her understanding and practice in life. And this part will be noticed by the students, and thus the inculcation of values is very, the path is going to be very smooth in that case. Nice, thanks. So I'll get back to you later. So now I move on to Umesh Jadavji once again. So we have discussed regarding the implementation part. We have given several guidelines regarding that. And other panelists, including the student panelists, said regarding the importance of working for life than just for say an earning, and also the importance of teachers in inculcating the human values in the curriculum, particularly implementing that in the other subjects also. These points were put forth by the panelists. Now, Sri Umesh Jadhav, I would like to ask you this question: that this human values is also a course. So, as part of the assessment, how do you think can we assess the human value program like any other subjects? Do we have an assessment schedule? And also, how can assessment system include values? So, these are two different questions. So, I put forth these two things to you. Sri Umesh Jadhav, over to you.
Yes. In our current university assessment systems, we have marks, grading, question papers, practicums, and labs. So the same things can be applied for the universal human values too. But the assessment of a student based on what he has written in the examination, that would be just one part. And this part will give us a clarity about the grasping of the students on the concepts. But the purpose of the universal human value is not this limited. The purpose of the universal human values is to initiate the process of exploration in the student so that he can transform to the human consciousness. So whether this purpose is being resolved or not, for that we may think about some innovative assessment methods. So one of the method could be observing the students throughout the semester. So pre-course, during course, and after the course. So kind of a continuous assessment. So this continuous assessment would help us to understand the progress a student is going through. Number two, the peer can review very nicely. I mean, my best friend can talk about me, that how I am and how I was. So the peer assessment can be one thing. Another thing is bring these projects, what we are giving them, whether it's a minor projects or a major projects, more connected to the life. So where they would have applications of the values what they have learned in the classrooms. So, for instance, one of the project we can give, like if some constructions need to be happen in the university area, so can we involve our students directly into that constructions? And through that project, can we teach them the eco-friendly and the human-friendly approach? So without damaging nature and without hurting the feelings who are involved into this project, how they can do it. So this sort of ideas, we need to come up for the assessment of the student, bringing them close to the community, asking them to identify some community issues and find out holistic solutions for that community issues. When I'm saying holistic solutions, I'm talking about solving the issues and not creating another problem to solve a problem, and that is what is generally happening today. We are facing so many problems, and when we try to provide a solution, that creates few more problems. So all these things can consider while doing it, and if we consider all these things in the assessment of the other courses also, then that value portion would be added in the other courses too. So thank you.
Yeah, very important points put forth by Sri Umesh Jadavji. Particularly, the UHB is a course, but at the same time, the purpose is different. So it has to be seen in that way. The universities can go along in their own way of assessment, but at the same time, a few proposals put forth by Sri Umesh Jha that is very important, observing the students before, during, and after the course. This part is very important. And in addition, offering them the socially relevant projects, rather triggering them to design their own projects so that the community involvement and their commitment towards the community is that is evident towards them. So this part is very well taken. Thank you so much. So we can listen to other panelists also regarding this assessment part. Dr. Anuradha, I would like to ask you the same question regarding how the assessment in the universities can be reformulated in line with the university human value courses.
Yeah, so very well presented by earlier panelist. Meji sir has presented it well. I also, align with that assessment process. So one thing is, as I said in my earlier address, that value-based living is following right direction in life. So what that right direction is. Value is what about, right and wrong, taking that decision in the context of your society. And somewhere we are instilling individuals with humanism that should be the core and a deep concern about the well-being of others and the nation. So this is what needs to be assessed. Is the student or is in the higher education, are we giving them the duties about the how much they are sensitized about their duties and responsibility towards the nation and the fellow being. And we cannot teach values through lectures. They need to be absorbed through relationship. Pedagogy cannot be lecture method. Similarly, assessment has to be different. So, but the pedagogy should be more towards self-introspection, action-based projects, social practices, social internship. We are emphasizing too heavily on industry internship, but no, we're not talking about social internship. So assessment should be what is valuable for human happiness and peace and how much you have contributed in that. Actually, this is what is value education, what is valuable for happiness and peace. Good health, education, environment, culture, maybe psychology, well-being, finances, of course, involved in that. So again, if a student is involved in some indisciplined act, is found cheating, what's the point having O grade or 9 grade in a course like value-based education or value education when the person is involved in such? So this has to be what I'm just trying to help understand is we need to talk about duty, dharma, and Raj dharma and vyavahar. So duty and responsibility towards nation and fellow being, and automatically the world will transform into value-based learning, a peaceful world. So assessment in that direction, that is vyavahar. उसका व्यवहार कैसा है? We need to emphasize on that assessment. 8 CGPA anyone can get in that course, right? So vyavahar is the practical aspect of it need to be assessed.
Thank you. So assessment in line with duties and responsibilities. That's a key thing which I take away from your sharing just now. Thank you so much. I would like to extend this question as well as the question regarding the pedagogy to Dr. Manish Kumar. So what kind of, in addition to the assessment, we also need to see what kind of pedagogical systems we can use when we offer the human value courses in the curriculum. So can you throw some light upon this regarding the pedagogical aspects of the UHB? You are muted, Manish Kumar. Still you are muted. Your mic is still muted, Dr. Manish Kumar. So you can unmute from your side and you can speak. I think there is some technical glitch at Dr. Manish Kumar's side.
Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yeah. Now you're audible. Nice.
Yeah. So in current examination pattern, we are testing the students on the written paper. So what we are facing here is in human value subject also students are just writing the papers and getting the marks or grade and whatever it is. My point of view is that we have such of type like NSS and all. So this human value subject should be uh, as- uh, given on the basis of practical work, not in the theoretical examination pattern. So in this case, if we consider like NSS work and all, so all the work that has to be done by the students can be mentioned and in the each semester or whatever the course curriculum is that. So what we have assigned the subjects, the mentor should be observed throughout the session, and that practical knowledge should be practical work has been given in terms of grade or whatever it is, not in the written matter. So if we evaluate the human value in the written course, again the same scenario will be happen whatever the previous examination pattern. So it should not be in the written manner. It should be in the practical way. It in what the course we have assigned it. This is for my side. Thank you.
Yeah. So there is a very crisp and very relevant point. It should not be like the conventional way of assessment, but one thing is, as Sri Umesh Jadhav mentioned, you also mentioned regarding the continuous assessment by the teachers. The mentor has to be there with the student throughout the program. And this part is very, very important. How the change is happening and what change is happening in the student, this can be assessed. And also you mentioned regarding the practice part. So this has to be practiced outside, not just like NSS, but otherwise. So the human value is not just like a theoretical kind of a program, but in society and in the nature, what they are doing. So this also can be monitored by the teachers, as you mentioned, and we can make an assessment system. That's very, very nice. Thank you. So I will move on to the student panelist, Siri Reddy. So you listen to the other panelists, the teachers, the professors who are pioneers in this human values, as well as others who offer the value education in their institutions. So how the pedagogy is being designed and how the assessment part is being offered or being proposed. So what do you think? What is the difference in pedagogy in offering the UHV, the Universal Human Values in your institution, and the other subjects, and also how it is being assessed in your institution, and what change you wish to have in this process? Siri.
Yeah, thank you for that question, sir. Actually, I think that kids will always learn by actions more than words. Earlier, the panelist was mentioning about this also. And this I mean, the grades of all this thing, like a course and getting a good grades, will only get you pass in the exam, but not in passing the life. That is what I think. And it is very important that we have to apply this onto the life, not just onto the exam papers or answer papers. So maybe if I could suggest a change or something, as other panelists was telling, it is very nice to have peer feedbacks and also social activities for the assignments for UHV, because it is how we have to assess. It's not just writing it what you have in the mind, but doing it what you have in the heart. So actually, when the UHV started, it was in my induction program in my first year. We just completed inter, and it was all about science and physics, maths, chemistry. And suddenly, when we entered to the next stage of our life, it was a very good start, I would say. It was very brilliant move to put it in the induction program, because we came with the fresh minds, and it was the age to bend, and we heard about how the world goes and what are the values and all. And mainly now I think value driven education would build capable professionals and responsible humans. So values are very important, and I got to know that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Siri, for that point of view of a student regarding the assessment part, as well as the importance of the SIP. This is very, very important. So when you are very fresh in an educational institution, what kind of things are being introduced in the very beginning? This part holds a very, very important key. Very nice. Thank you for that sharing. We'll get back to you. Thank you. Nice. So I'll move on to the next panelist, Vilas Varudkar. So I now put forth a different scenario for you regarding the implementation part. Yeah. So how can the value-driven education be embedded across all disciplines? Is it possible?
Yeah, certainly. I think as Umesh ji and our UHG point of view presenter had already mentioned, that we can incorporate this a part of UHV in every course curriculum. So I think as I am teaching, taking design thinking subjects, so I am really posting the issues which society is generally having facing today, and what would be the possible solutions in an in a all winning situations, so that the both parties are able to fulfill their needs, desires as well. So I think by implementing this point of view, that in all subjects, basically what I'm also teaching machine design in mechanical engineering. So what materials, eco-friendly materials can be utilized, and what can be replaced with the traditional ones, which are really harming the environment. And we can really pose these questions to the students, and certainly the solutions are there, and which are not being implemented due to various other reasons. But uh, at least a thought process is being generated among the students, that how they can be giving a thought to a solution-centric one, and not the say another posing another problem to the solution. As Umesh ji had rightly mentioned, that we are generally giving a solution and it is causing another problem. So I think we can rightly implement this value-based education, and certainly it will lead us to harmonious living, and certainly value-based living. And as Abhaji has mentioned, that we are certainly aiming for a global peace throughout the world. Certainly it will lead us to that. I think that's it. I think. Thank you. Thanks for Sunil sir.
Yeah. So you're also very hopeful regarding the implementation part of this value education or value-driven education in other syllabus of other subjects also. Yeah, so this is a possibility which every one of us, all the teachers can think of, and we can include the students also into the syllabus revision mechanism whenever it is there. maybe the brainstorming part. This has been practiced by many universities in their academic bodies or board of studies. The students, the industry, the alumni, they're also part of this syllabus revision process. So in due course of time, the value-based education will be enforced in many of the universities. That's what we can expect. Very nice. Thank you so much. So we have now completed 2 rounds of this discussion. And before I go to the 3rd round, because we discussed the implementation part, there can be many questions by the delegates. So there are some questions by delegates. You can raise your hand. A few hands are raised already, but I would like to request the delegates to ask specific questions to the panelists, if there are any. So, yeah. Dr. Rangnath sir, Rangnath ji. Yeah, you have unmuted, but the voice is not reaching. It is not reaching me. What about others? Are you able to listen to Rangnath ji?
No.
No. Yeah. No. So, Rangnath sir, you can type your question if it is difficult for you to speak in the chat box. We will read that from there. Nice. Thank you. We have Dr. Bajra Panjar Mishra. Dr. Bajra Panjar Mishra, mic is passed to you. Do you have a question to any panelist? We also have Dr. Nitin Kumar Agarwal. Dr. Nitin Kumar Agarwal, do you have a question? Maybe there are technical glitches, I can see. We also have with us Chilakala Patmavati.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
And actually, I want to say that the EHP course should be a continuous one, and it has to be every week. Every week for half an hour is also enough, but it should be a continuous process, sir. It should not be like a small course of 2 weeks or 1 week, 3 weeks. That is not enough, sir. They have to imbibe into these values into in their life. Slowly, every day, a small value can be taught, and let them practice. And it should be throughout the year in higher education also. Then only it will be useful, sir. Slowly, they will imbibe. Slowly, they will correct the mistakes. Even for faculty, it will be useful. It is useful for students also, sir. It is like just like in a few weeks program, then they will forget. They are leaving it. So I want that to tell you, sir. And even in health modules, we have in village level and at school level also, for adolescent healthcare modules, they are focusing only on how to prevent the disease. They are not focusing on moral values, character building. That has to be implemented in every counseling, sir. Even in counseling, Manas counselors module also, even in NCD module also, there are no character building values in the system. So how to improve this?
Yeah, so that's a very important point, Chilakala ji. How to continue the UHP courses, and particularly in various disciplines, like you said, medicine as one of the examples. So you would like to ask this question to any of the panelists, any specific panelist, or anybody who can answer the question? Anyone. So any panelist can respond to the question. I keep it open to all of you.
Yeah, I may like to answer.
Yeah, please.
So very rightly pointed, and even I was also trying to share the same thing, that it cannot be just limited to one course. It is a life learning process. So at higher education, in the context of higher education, as I said, each course should be having a small topic where we are talking about duties and responsibility relating to that particular course or the discipline. So if I think each faculty, each student, or everyone in their capacity should try to answer one question when they are making the curriculum. Is curricula encouraging students to reflect on their social, ethical, or environmental consequences of their discipline? Is it actually contributing towards solving the real world problems? If we each course can address question on social impact, sustainability, and ethical consequences, I think each course is so this is getting part of their nerves in the brains. So somewhere, if when I was trying to understand our education system, and when I look back, all our gurus, the Gurukul system, they used to talk about education purposes, Charitra Nirman. We are hardly thinking about that. We are focusing on placements, rankings, accreditation. So we are focusing on knowledge, skills, and attributes. But what about Acharan? That's why I said assessment of Vyavhar. And in the context of assessment, I am just recalling one example of a guru, in the group from the Gurukul system, that how he assessed the student. So what he did at the end of the program, he spread sprinkled some glass pieces on the road, and he asked student, okay, now you can go. On the way, he sprinkled those. So one student, he just crossed it. Second student, he tried lifting and putting it by the side. So he said, okay, you can go. The person who put it by the side, he said, okay, your assessment is done. You are successful. You can go. But the person who tried just crossing it, he said, you come back. You need some more guidance. You need to be with me for some more time. So that this is how we need to really think in a very different way, because this value is something internal. How to assess something which is intrinsic to the person. So it should not be, education system should not be just limited to producing graduate, which is the present. It should nurture conscious leaders and responsible citizens. This is so question, are we preparing graduate only for employment or for life, leadership, and responsibility in a complex world? If that question is answered by courses, each course, I think it will be lifelong good learning for the student, and it will be strengthened. The value-based education will be strengthened. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that input. Multiple inputs, I would say, regarding the assessment part as well as regarding the continuity, the need for the continuity of value education, and that too in every course, as duties, responsibilities, as you said, and the social impact part of that. Very nicely put forth. Thank you, Professor Radha.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Rangnaji has put his comment in the chat box. I will read that. Every student enters the institutions with the main objective of getting placement. A few only think about making life meaningful. So could you please comment? So this question is also open to the panelists. Only very few think about making life meaningful.
Maybe as a student, I can answer that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true. Every student enters the college by keeping the placement, getting a placement in the mind because of maybe say family pressure or societal expectations that we have. And it's like the skill set we have to develop, and it is like a race. It's like a competition every moment. You're getting it and your partner is not getting it, your fellow is not getting it. It's like we have that pressure and we have to find it, and somewhere in between with this pressure and stress we get depressed and we really lose the way. But this value driven education might show us a way, like clearing up the things and focusing on the main goal. It's not just about earning. I would say that this is not just for a livelihood but for life. This should be like that. We should be thinking like that. And I know society changes takes a lot of time, but the change should start within us. And I was wanting to mention that earlier when they were asking about how would value driven education change and how would this impact in every course and all. Maybe it's more like when we have these values, it's not about what subject or what it is, but how it is, or how we implement or how we talk about. So that is it, I think. And if I want to conclude, when education is guided by values, progress will become sustainable. So values again wins. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. So we need sustainable progress in every aspect of life. And the value guidance is very important in that. So you can see that within a short span of time. So we attended only 1 or 2 courses of this value education so far. Within this, you can see the importance of that. And this will offer a very good message to the whole student community in the entire world regarding the importance of value guidance in each and every aspect of life, not just subjects, but each and every aspect of life. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Siri. Yeah, so now if there are some questions by any of the delegates, you can put forth that. You can raise your hand. So by the time, I would like to ask Sri Umesh Jadavji regarding another aspect of this implementation part. That we have this community services which are offered through the various programs like Unnat Bharat Abhiyan is there, then this NSS is there, and many other programs are there. So another thing is partnership with the industry. So what role do community and service learning projects play in implementation of this value education, as well as how can partnership with industry reinforce ethical practices? So regarding the role of industry as well as community practices. Sri Umesh ji, over to you.
Yeah, particularly these community practices help our students, those who doesn't have rural background, to get exposure to the life in our villages. That's one. Number two, those students who have come from very affluent families and has not seen any sort of big issues, how a common mass live in the society, though it's urban setup. So this gives an exposure. But then when we are going to the community, if there is no clarity about for what we are going there, then again it would just become a sort of a activity or a project. Like I know this one incidents. One of the college got connected to a village, and to educate the people of that village, particularly the young people. The school was not there. It's like 20 years ago. These incidents has happened. And the college students, they were going to the village regularly. They started teaching this youth and the teenagers of this village. After the 6 months, when they have tried to see the impact of their education, then what they have found is basically these teenagers and the youths who used to participate in farming and helping their parents, after going through this modern education, they found that it's kind of a laborer's job, and the laborer's job is not a respectable job. So there could be a possibility of, disconnecting the people with the roots and the culture and the participation. So educating people is nice, but then for what purpose we are educating the people, that is very important things to understand. And every panelist is talking about the same thing. So that's one. Number two is, again, connecting the same thing to the industry. Industries are required because the productions which is happening through the industry is only making our life very comfortable and luxury. Both the things are happening. This computer, we got connected through. They have also come from the industries. But then the industry is for the well-being of all, or the industry is for accumulation of wealth for the few families? This is a question. When this question will get addressed by each one of us through self-inquiry, then we will be able to understand that through industry, I not only want to make a profit for the prosperity of my family, but I do also want to take my responsibility to nurture my relatives, which means everybody is working in my industry is my relative. And at the same time, I'm giving all this raw material from the nature. So in a mutually fulfilling manner, I'm giving these things back to the nature. So that will, have the good result, what is expected from community linkage and the industry linkage. So thank you for the question.
Yes, that's a very relevant point regarding the industry interaction. So we have this industry interaction cell in each and every institution, the universities. So the role of the universities and the role of industries, this is the purpose, as you mentioned, is very important. So when we look at the purpose part, then the actions also would be following this purpose part. It is not that we are just doing it as an activity, as you said, but if the purpose part is very clear, then the both can collaborate. The people in the institutions and the industry can collaborate, and that is for the fulfillment of harmony in the society as well as harmony in the nature. So this part has to be looked into. Very nice. Thank you, Ms. Srikumar Chara, for those very important points. So I'll move on to, if there are some questions from the delegates, you can ask that. So I keep this open anytime while we move on to this third round of discussion. We have a few more minutes left in the panel discussion. 10 minutes, I would say. So I'll move on to Mr. Manish Kumar, Dr. Manish Kumar, with the same aspect. So what do you think, Dr. Manish Kumar? How can environmental consciousness become lived practices? It is in addition to the questions regarding the industry orientation and the community practices. How can the environmental consciousness become lived practices?
As the earlier panelist said, regarding the institutional and human values collaborations with the institute and industry, I think everybody must have a two part of the resume. Currently, all the institution has seen your resume with your grade and marks. I think everybody must have a two part of your resume. One part should be the value based, your education, so that the institute, all the industry go through the institution, your academic as well as your value addition education also. So that once they have observed the person in the organization, there also the environment will be a value based. So it will be a win-win situation for the institution as well as the industry also. If we can see the resume of any education view in the two parts. That is my.
Nice, sir. Thank you so much for that input. So the linkage between the industry and the institution, this is what you are mentioning about. Very nice. Thank you so much. So I would like to ask Vilas Varutkarji regarding the industry interaction, as well as regarding how can the campuses balance excellence with empathy and gratitude. Is this also important?
Yeah,
Okay.
certainly. Very good question. I think practicing gratitude is one of the main, I think, aspect in value education. And I think as I teach certain subjects, I initially remind them that you are getting all the facilities from the industries, but in industries, some people are working day and night to fulfill this your requirement. And I also pose the same question that you have taken the breakfast in the morning, and just observe a mess worker at what time he is woken up to feed your plate, to fill your plate, which you have got in the morning breakfast. So similar kind of, I think, examples of just reminding them that gratitude is a very important parameter. And when once you feel gratitude towards a person, a industry person, a worker as well, you just feel that how much labor he has done to bring this up to me. And I think practicing this certainly will lead to a compassion towards the person in front. So I think it's a very important thing. And I think Umesh sir has clearly mentioned that the purpose behind the setting up an industry is a very important thing. I think if it is just to get the most of the profit in the market, or we have to provide certain facilities with the purpose that we are generating a product and it is giving a meaningful life to them, and so that they can really impart their life to aware their consciousness, is a very important point, I think Umesh sir has mentioned. So I think thank you. Thanks, Sunil sir, for this question.
Very nice. Thank you so much. So you also mentioned regarding the gratitude part. This part is very important among the students, the stakeholders, the teachers, the industry part. So when this part is there, then the progress, the development will be much smoother and much conducive. Thank you so much. So, Sri Reddy, I'm coming back to you with the inputs of the previous panelists. So, what is your take upon this question, that how can campuses balance excellence with empathy and gratitude? Do you think that this excellence is to be promoted in the campuses, or this competition? And when it is excellence, what is the meaning of excellence for you? And what is the balance between this excellence and empathy for you?
Well, that's a lot of questions. Thank you, sir. First, I would tell that this value-driven education doesn't reduce excellence. It gives meaning to the excellence. And when I say that values turn success into significance, and it's like, I remember when the other day in my college, we had this happiness day. We were celebrating this. I think that is important to celebrate, take a day to celebrate our happiness and feel gratitude to people. And we have conducted some activities, and I did not expect students to actively participate. Like, I didn't expect that many people to participate. I hosted that event, and we had something called a gratitude wall, and currently nobody were coming and writing anything, but I started writing one note and sticked on it for people who I was grateful for, and slowly people started coming and they started sticking, and within few hours there was no place to stick. They were like full of papers and all, and it just got me so overwhelmed. And it's like, it's okay, we just have to give a push, and it is there in the people. It felt like youth needs a guidance, not control. It is what I thought that day, and that day has changed a lot in me. Like, okay, there are people who hide it, things inside them. We just need to show them it's okay to show it, and it's okay that people will accept, and it's okay that you do these things. And education is like, it builds a future, and values will secure it. Yeah, that is what I think. Did I miss any question you asked?
No, it is comprehensive answer, I would say. Comprehensive response, very good. So
Yeah.
you have touched every aspect of the question, and you have very nicely put forth with that example of the gratitude wall.
Yeah,
I know
and
that,
I also think that when students have this high pressure and they keep everything inside, no, not like anybody is not born bad. It's just wrong directions they take. So as I mentioned earlier, maybe we just need a correct guidance in the correct time, not the control all the time. Yeah, that is what I wanted to make a point.
yeah, it is very good that you represent the whole students in the entire world for the time being in this panel discussion. And your comments are very relevant and very important. And they are well taken by all the delegates also. You can see the comments in the chat box. So, so very nice that this gratitude part is very important. And when the students are taking it, then the role of the teachers is very, very lessened. So thank you so much for that comment. Now we are coming to the last part of this panel discussion. So before we conclude, I would like to go back to Anuradha once again for your last comments, the final comments regarding the implementation of the value-based education, the value-driven education for a happy and peaceful world. So can you give this last comments in one minute? Please,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think the right conduct in action and knowledge should be guided by values. We are giving knowledge, not guiding with values. That is now we are working hard to add on. Student, faculty both have ambition. What needs to be added is responsibility. There's a good competition. What needs to be added is compassion. With that, I think education will fulfill its highest purpose. Knowledge guided by values, ambition by responsibility, competition by compassion. Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you so much for the crisp response. Dr. Manish Kumar, you will take on this, the final comments in a few seconds. Yeah.
So I think value-based higher education. So my point of view is that without a value, if we give a simple education on a marks basis or grade basis, it is meaningless for our society, our uh, entire world. So first it should be a value, then it comes the education. So it is a priority for the value and then education. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you so much for this enriching discussion by all the panelists. I thank each and every panelist for making this a very fruitful discussion. And I thank all the delegates also for your interaction in between. Through the chat box, as well as few of them responded to the mic also. So there may be questions, there may be reflections regarding how to implement this. But one thing is very evident that the comments of the many of the panelists as well as the student panelists, they are offering us a hope that the implementation part is not that difficult. So there is a need for this value education that we have seen, and there are a lot of visions which we can put forth. At the same time, when the purpose is very clear among the students, the teachers, and the people in the industry and in the society, then the implementation part is very, very easy. Also, we discussed regarding the assessment, how to assess the value education programs, because it is an educational program. So the assessment can be a little bit out of the box as it is proposed. Very nice. Continuous assessment part is required. It is not just like written examination, but we require to assess the practice part also. For that, the teacher, the mentor has to be there with the students in continuity. So this is a journey which we can move forward. So very nice. The education is not just for getting kind of a living, but it is for the life, as Siri pointed out very, very rightly. So I thank once again all the panelists. So we are going to have conclusive remarks regarding all these panel discussions towards the end of the day when we have the valedictory function. So we will include all the comments, the responses by the panelists in that final remarks or the final conclusive remarks. So thank you so much once again. I hand over the session to the anchor, Dr. Prashant. Dr. Prashant, over to you.
Ji, Dr. Sunil ji, very nicely dealt with this exactly at the time, 11:15 it is. And I hereby take this opportunity to thank our all panelists. So all external panelists, particularly Anuradha Parasarji, Manish Kumarji, and Siri Reddy Didi. And our internal panelist, Umeshji, Vilasji, particularly. So Umeshji very nicely given the life-related all examples. Then Vilasji on campus, how machine designing to be changed with this concept of universal human values. Then Anuradhaji very nicely given all inputs, particularly on the dharma religion. Then Manish Kumarji, this value-based living that is particularly to be implemented. And Siri Reddy, really, as told by Sunil Kumarji, she is representing the students' overall country through her, we can see. So with this, I request you all, it is the closing session, closing time for this session, but you can have after 15 minutes break, you can join the different panels which will be there. And at 2:30, I think there will be the final conclusion or the valedictory function of this